I have decided to choose Paul Heaton as my prominent figure in Hull. Although not originating from Hull, Paul lived here for a number of years, forming both the Housemartins and the beautiful South in the city. I have enjoyed listening to his music from a young age, so I thought he was the perfect person for me to choose. Paul formed the Housemartins in 1983 in Hull. Known as the fourth best band in Hull, Paul was known as P.D. Heaton. Lyrics written by Paul were a reflection of his Christian and Marxist beliefs. Their first big hit was with single Happy Hour, which reached number 3. They followed this with their number 1 single Caravan of Love. As a tribute to Hull, they named one of their albums London 0 Hull 4. Members of the band included Paul himself, Dave Hemingway, Ted Key, Chris Lang, Hugh Whitaker and Norman Cook. The Beautiful South were formed by Housemartin bandmates Paul and Dave Hemingway. After forming in 1988, they achieved amazing success, selling over 15 million records. The band split up in 2007 due to what they called musical similarities. During their time together, they released several number 1 albums, including Quench and Carry On Up the Charts. Their 1996 album Blue is the Colour sold over 1 million copies. They had a number 1 single with A Little Time in 1990. Paul suffered with drinking problems many times during his life. The problem reached its peak during his time in the beautiful South, which had a heavy drinking culture. This was reflected in the lyrics of his songs, such as Old Red Eyes Is Back. Paul now only drinks low-alcohol beer. Paul moved to Hull by accident, as his friends wanted to move to somewhere by the seaside. He then fell in love with the city and stayed for several years. Both the Housemartins and the Beautiful South were born in the city, and Paul played one of his first gigs at Hull University. Recently, he and former bandmates returned to Hull to play at Adelphi, a live music venue in the city. Paul is currently touring the UK with ex-Beautiful South bandmate Jackie Abbott. He also owns his own pub in Manchester, the King's Arms.